Have you ever felt like giving up? Like you've tried and failed so many times that there's just no point in trying again? We've all been there. It's a lonely, frustrating place to be. But what if I told you that failure isn't the end of the road? What if it's actually the path? Today, I want to share a story with you. It's about a boy who didn't just fail once or twice, but 1,000 times. And his story might just change the way you think about your own struggles. His name was Thomas, but everyone in his small town just called him the boy who tries. From a young age, Thomas was fascinated by flight. Not airplanes, but the simple, elegant flight of a bird. He'd spend hours watching them, sketching their wings, and trying to understand how they danced with the wind. His one dream was to build a machine that could fly just like them. So he started building. His first attempt was a pair of wings made from old bedsheets and willow branches. He climbed the small hill behind his house, took a deep breath, and leaped. As you can probably guess, he didn't soar. He tumbled, ending in a heap of tangled sheets and bruised pride. The other kids laughed. Look at Tommy trying to be a bird. They'd jeer. But as he dusted himself off, Thomas wasn't defeated. He was learning. The sheets were too heavy, the branches too flimsy. Failure number 1 was in the books. He spent the next few years in a cycle of designing, building, and failing. He tried lightweight canvas, intricate wooden frames, and even a contraption with pedals meant to flap the wings. He built over 100 different models. Each one ended the same way. A short, clumsy fall back to earth. The pile of broken wings behind his workshop grew into a monument of his failures. The townspeople shook their heads. That poor boy, they'd say. When will he learn? But Thomas wasn't just collecting failures. He was collecting data. He learned about weight distribution, about aerodynamics, about the crucial relationship between wing shape and lift. Each crash, each broken piece of wood taught him something new. He filled notebooks with detailed drawings, calculations, and observations. He wasn't just trying anymore. He was studying. He was becoming an expert. Not in success, but in every possible way a thing couldn't fly. One day, after his 500th failed attempt, his father came to him. He looked at the wreckage and then at his son's determined face. "Son," he said gently, "maybe it's time to stop. There's no shame in it. You've tried harder than anyone." Thomas looked at his father, his hands covered in grease and splinters. "Dad," he replied, "every time I fail, I discover one more way that doesn't work. That means I'm one step closer to finding the one way that does." His perspective was unshakable. He saw failure not as a wall, but as a stepping stone. While others saw 1,000 reasons to quit, he saw 1,000 lessons learned. He realized that success wasn't about avoiding failure, but about surviving it and learning from it. This mindset was his true engine. It was more powerful than any device he could build. Years passed. Thomas was no longer a boy. He was a young man, and his obsession had only grown. The laughter had faded into a quiet, pitying curiosity. He had tried everything he could think of. He had built gliders, ornithopters, and machines that looked like they belonged in a fantasy novel. Failure number 999 was his most ambitious yet a sleek, multi-winged glider launched from the highest cliff in the region. It flew further than any of his previous attempts, a whole 100 feet, before spiraling gracefully into the lake below. He was exhausted, soaked, and sitting on the shore as he watched the last pieces of his creation sink. For the first time, a real shadow of doubt crept into his mind. Maybe everyone was right. Maybe it was impossible. He packed up his notebooks, went home, and for a week, the workshop remained silent. The town sighed in relief. "He's finally given up," they whispered. But they didn't understand Thomas. He wasn't giving up. He was resting. He was reflecting. He went back to his very first notebooks, to the simple drawings of birds. And then he saw it, in all his complex designs, in all his mechanical flapping and pedaling. He had missed the most fundamental truth. A bird doesn't just flap its wings, it uses the wind. It soars, it glides, it becomes one with the air currents. He had been trying to fight the air, to conquer it. He needed to cooperate with it. With a renewed sense of purpose, he went back to his workshop one last time. He didn't build a new machine. Instead, he took the best parts from all his previous failures. He used the lightweight frame from attempt 347, the wing shape from 712, and the steering mechanism he perfected after crash 921. He pieced them all together, not as a new invention, but as a culmination of everything he had learned. This machine, number 1001, was different. It was simpler, more elegant. It was born from 1,000 failures. He took it back to the same small hill where he had first leaped as a boy. The whole town came out to watch, expecting another spectacular failure. Thomas strapped himself in. He didn't run or leap, he waited. He felt the wind, listening to it, understanding its direction and strength. And when the moment was just right, he simply leaned forward and let the wind lift him. And he flew. He didn't just fall with style, he soared. He circled over the astonished crowd, riding the thermal updrafts with an instinct born from 1,000 falls. He wasn't a boy trying to be a bird anymore. He was a pilot, dancing with the wind he had come to know so well. He stayed in the air for over an hour, landing gently back on the hill only when the sun began to set. Thomas's story teaches us something profound. The world celebrates success, but it often forgets the journey. We're shown the trophies, not the sweat, the tears, and the countless hours of work that went into earning them. We see the final perfect flight, not the 1,000 broken wings. Think about the goals in your own life. Maybe you're trying to start a business, learn a new skill, get in shape, or write a book. You will face setbacks. You will fail. You will have moments where it feels like you're just tumbling back to earth. But each of those failures is a lesson. Each mistake is a piece of data. Like Thomas, you're not just failing, you're eliminating the ways that don't work. You're getting one step closer to the one way that does. The secret isn't to be fearless or to never fail. The secret is to have a belief so strong that it can withstand 1,000 failures. It's about having the courage to get up, dust yourself off, and say, okay, that didn't work. What did I learn? Let's try again. Success is not the absence of failure, it's the persistence through failure. So, the next time you fail, don't see it as the end. See it as part of your story. See it as your attempt number 5, or 50, or 500. It's a number on your personal journey to 1,000 lessons learned on your way to that one beautiful, soaring success. You are not defined by your falls, but by your resilience and your unwavering will to get back up and try again. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that I hope will inspire you on your own journey. Let me know in the comments about a time you learned from failure. I'd love to hear your stories. Until next time, keep trying, keep learning, and never stop believing in your flight.